different. When I take a lot of force on, it's something happens. Instead of me going like contracting into the center and holding it in and maybe sending it down, I tend to get uprooted from there, and then I'm disconnected because I'm back bending almost. So my question is, while I'm here, how do I guide that force into like this contraction? When it's a small amount, it's easy, but when it's a lot, I tend to go like this.
So it becomes a matter of how strong is your center.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So the strength of your center matters. That's one thing. And second thing, come here. Push. Okay. Liam was talking about bringing that force into the center and then bring it down to the ground, right? To the foot, right? It's not both feet, the back foot, right? Maybe you can think from a different perspective, meaning that you push, right? Push. Instead of me bring it down, try to bring it down. When you try to bring it down, are you really rooting? That's the question. When you bring that force down, are you really rooting yourself? Are you rooted? Do you feel you're rooted? You are physically rooted, but internally you're not really rooted. Because it's more like you're pushing and there's resistance, there's weight, and you see how I'm bringing it down physically? That's not rooting. Yeah, it means that you're just taking that weight and load it on your leg.
Like squats.
Yeah, like squats. Load it on your leg first, and then load it on your knee, and then load it on your foot. So you're creating more weight. Yeah, it's like the weight is here. Instead of dealing the weight here, you bring it here. Have your leg, have your foot deal with that weight. So now the weight is here.
Yeah.
That's not routine. Then you can relax.
No.
Right, certainly when somebody's really resisting, there's no, you can't really say, oh, I'm really relaxed. No, when somebody really applies strength and force, you cannot really completely relax, right? There's no such condition, idealistic condition. Okay, but the thing is, that's not routine. When you think about a ball, where does the ball root relative to the surface area, to the ground, right?
Wherever it's touching.
The ball doesn't really root.
It's a trick question.
Think about it. A tree has root, deep into the ground.
Yeah.
But the ball has no rooting. There's no rooting. So maybe rooting is not, maybe you can think about, instead of rooting, think about no rooting. I'm not trying to say that rooting is bad, right? We need rooting in internal martial arts.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's no rooting, it's no good, right? But now you push.
Alright, so there's no rooting in swimming.
Do I take on his weight to here? No. Do I bring that force? He's pushing force. Let me guide it to here. Let me direct his force to the ground. And people talk about, so therefore when you direct your opponent's force to the ground, really your opponent is pushing against himself. Your opponent is pushing the ground against himself, so it's not pushing on you. Okay, but now let's think about from a different perspective, like how do you make sure that he's pushing against the ground? Yes, do you feel? Yes, there's some resistance, not me, right? Because I'm not pushing against you. I'm bringing some of that force down here, right? Step back a little bit. Yeah, I'm bringing some of that force push down here. Yeah, I'm not completely resisting. So in a way, he is pushing against the ground, against himself, by pushing the ground, okay? But if he applies more force, there's only so much relaxation I can do. If you just keep on adding and adding more force, more pressure, more weight, at some point my structure wouldn't be able to hold it, right? There's only so much force I can guide into the ground, right? And I can move around. At some point, no, if you keep on adding more to it. Okay, so then instead of thinking about rooting, think about the ball, that when you exert force, doesn't matter how much force you exert. Okay, a ball will still be able to handle it. Unless there's no air inside. As long as there's enough air inside, doesn't matter how much weight, pressure, strength you apply onto the ball, it will just roll over it, roll around it.
So the air inside is the strength of your center. And
That's the chi, huh?
So really push.
Where's my center? Coming through.
Right, so you have to condition your body going from a flat surface into rounded body, rounded surface area. Right, so then you don't have to, you still have to root, but you deal less with bringing the force onto your root, bring that force onto your root. You're just, you know, giving your roots more workload. Okay, now don't give your roots more workload. Okay, when the force comes, say, okay, bring it somewhere else. Okay, so that your root won't be bothered by the workload because there's less workload.